All right, man, peace. So as we all know, tonight is the NBA draft. The biggest question is whether or not the Los Angeles Lakers, led by Mr. Magic Johnson, are going to fulfill the prophecy of Mr. LeVar Ball and draft his son Lonzo Ball and turn LeVar into a sports prophet, quote unquote. Let's find out. Let's see what happens.
Pick, and now the Los Angeles Lakers are on the clock. It's something that the Ball family believes that they have been able to sneak until it comes into existence. The LA story: Kobe Bryant retired after 20 seasons with the Lakers, carrying them to championships and being the face of that franchise. First season under new head coach Luke Walton, they missed the playoffs for the fourth straight year, and then the front office shakeup. Former Jalen Rose came in, Rob Pelinka's in there with Magic Johnson, who's running the show. And for the third straight year, the Lakers will make the second pick in the draft overall. The first time they did that, 2015, D'Angelo Russell expected to be on his way to the Brooklyn Nets as part of this trade. Michael, we've talked a lot about the Lakers' direction now under Magic. Lonzo Ball was a big part of that, I would think.
Alonzo is a huge part of it. And for me, I can't help but think about Magic appreciating the gift that Lonzo clearly has. Vision, the ability to get teammates involved, whoever they are. Some of the guys that we don't think much of with the Lakers right now, who look like marginal players or barely rotation players, they become better with a great passer. And I know that's part of what Magic's talking about and counting on for taking Lonzo Ball.
If I'm the Lakers, I take Lonzo Ball and I get on the telephone and I say, other than Brandon Ingram and my number 2 pick, you can have anybody you want. Just give me Paul George. Now they're in a position to attract other players to come play with him.
Well, come on now, Jalen. Why the hell would Indiana make that trade if they're not getting back Brandon Ingram? Just stop.
Because I don't think that all-star caliber player, other than possible number 2 pick, is on their roster currently.
I don't think you get a shot at players like Lonzo Ball very often. I mean, think how he transformed UCLA and the way they played.
Exactly. And that's why I stated in that video where LeVar said that they lost in the NCAA tournament because they didn't have enough team speed, i.e. they had too many Caucasian ball players. And you had all these hating ass liberal blacks and liberal whites jumped on and said, Lonzo didn't play well. Dude, when you have a guy that comes onto a team that didn't even make the tournament the previous year, and they're not only in the tournament, but they're being talked about as a dark horse to win the whole thing, and the only difference is one player, that guy's a transformative player. You can't ever blame him for losing the game. Only thing that you can do is give him credit for getting them there. All right, now let's see how good they are next year. Talking about the UCLA Bruins. All right, but anyway, let's continue on.
Just by his very presence, they got up and down the floor. They scored at will. They were the best offensive team in the country. Didn't guard as well throughout the course of the year, but offensively they were off the charts good. And I think he's going to translate very.
Look at this bullshit. Writes rap lyrics on his phone in his free time. Like, I mean, come on. Let's get a little bit of a better graphic than that. Let's get a little bit better biographical information than that. Right? Sit down with the young man and find out what he is really interested in. They try to act like LeVar is just bogarting the whole situation. The real issue is that the media does not know how to speak to this young man because people normally just speak at black men, so-called black men. They don't speak to them. All right? They don't ask them. They don't inquire about them. They're not really concerned about what their interests are. They're really only concerned about what they can get from them, which is normally some type of entertainment.
Very well into the NBA with the way that he plays, the way that he passes ahead. I'm not saying it's Showtime Lakers, but he's the type of player that can get them back to that.
I don't know if it'll be Showtime, but at least for the first time in several years, it looks like the curtains may be parting just a little bit.
You can look at Jalen's face. Jalen gets a kick out of LeVar, and he's going to show you that after this draft pick comes down. Jalen sees the forest through the trees.
Foregone conclusion, we believe. Adam Silver about to step to the mic. Tell us who the Lakers have selected second overall.
Come on, Admina Silver. What Adam walking all stiff out of the back room for?
With the second pick in the 2007.
Adam looking like Fievel Mauskowitz. That man got a head like a damn trophy.
2017 NBA Draft, the Los Angeles Lakers select Lonzo Ball from UCLA.
See Lonzo with his dad, his brother, family and friends surrounding him on this moment that family always believed would happen. And it's much
Triple B's.
as much hype as there's been around the big baller brand, as Jay alluded to, this guy was remarkable in terms of creating for his teammates. He led the nation in assists. He had the third most assists by any freshman in Division I history.
Third most assists by any freshman in Division I history. Congratulations to LeVar Ball. I'll say congratulations to Lonzo also, but congratulations to LeVar for being a steward over his sons and doing the job that he was supposed to do and truly loving his sons deeply. All right. Now, in regards to the other aspects of the LeVar Ball phenomenon, we know he's a Mason. We know he has connections. I'm sure that him and Magic have connected on that level. And I'm sure that a lot of the things that have been released about Lonzo in the last couple of weeks about him not being in shape and all this other stuff, I'm sure that that stuff was just thrown out there for misdirection for the media to continue and perpetuate a narrative. But all that being said, still congratulations on LeVar for the job that he's done, and congratulations to him for being a very, very strong man. And, just wiping and brushing all that dirt off his shoulders when he's been constantly attacked by weak-minded people of every so-called race, including so-called black people who claim that they want black men to be strong and be strong fathers. But a lot of them were attacking him as well, claiming that they wanted him to be humble. All right? That's why I said you can't do things to please so-called black people, because so-called blacks cannot be pleased. So you cannot worry about them. All right? Not to digress, but that is why Michael Jordan stays adrift from so-called blacks, because he understands, due to the fact that he has a ruling class mentality. Same thing with Floyd Mayweather. They understand that they have a ruling class mentality. When you're dealing with people with a slave mentality, they're always going to try to find the negative. Anything that you do, they're going to try to find the negative. And when you put yourself out there on that branch, you're going to be by yourself. When the branch breaks, the same so-called rah-rah blacks, the same so-called quote-unquote revolutionary blacks, they're going to be nowhere to be found. All right? When the time of adversity comes, you're going to look behind you and there's going to be nobody there. All right?
He's basically Jason Kidd. He's got that kind of size and length, and he's really incredible in transition. He gets up and down the floor. His ability to pass ahead is extraordinary. He's a terrific finisher at the basket.
God damn, LeVar. Brother, you got to get to a dentist. I got a lot of love for you, but I mean, shit. When they say purple and gold, they're talking about the Lakers. They're not talking about your gums and your teeth. I mean, come on. Let's get that together. I got love for you, brother, but you can, come on. Let's get to the dentist.
He shoots over 70% on his twos, mostly because he either gets all the way to the rim or he's shooting a three and shot 42% from three. To say that he's an elite passer, I believe, is an understatement. He's not only really efficient in full court situations, he's really efficient in half court situations. Not necessarily a pick and roll guy, but he can throw it over his head. He finds people, dynamic in transitions, because he can attack the rim and get there quickly and finish with either hand. Rise up and dunk it. You can throw him a lob. Now his shot is not pretty. It's like Jim Furyk's golf swing.
See, all this is why I kind of, I'm skeptical about the stories about his conditioning level, right? That's why I'm prone to believe that that was just a smokescreen that was put out by the Lakers, that he was out of shape, that he was totally winded after 18 minutes. I mean, there could be some truth to it, but, there's so many stories that are put out there to throw people off that it's hard to believe that one.
You wouldn't teach anybody that way, but Jim Furyk's golf swing at impact is near perfect. Now, the release point here is not perfect, but he makes it, and he makes it at a rate that's better than a lot of guys we say are really good shooters. He can shoot it.
With apologies to Magic Johnson and Jason Kidd, I really love Lonzo Ball. He actually, to me, is a faster, more athletic version than Ricky Rubio. And I know a lot of people are going to say, Ricky Rubio, he's all right, but he's not real.
Exactly. He's all right, but he's not real. Come on, Jalen. And I love Jalen, but you know, every once in a while Jalen strikes out. This comparison's a bit of a strikeout to me. Ricky Rubio came in the same draft as Steph Curry. I believe it was the 2009 draft, and he has not panned out. Right? I mean, he's a guy who's put up a lot of stats in regards to passing, but this guy's barely a 40% shooter. Like, come on, Jalen, stop.
But here's a guy that averaged on his career 8 assists and 2 steals. The only other 2 gentlemen to do that in NBA history are John Stockton and Chris Paul.
Once again, and this is why I say, you know how people say men lie, women lie, but numbers don't lie? No, you can make numbers lie. If every time you get the ball, you passing it to somebody and you're always playing the passing lanes, it's not that difficult to get 8 assists and 2 steals. If you're on a bad team, you're a high draft pick, and they're trying to get you to pan out by giving you a lot of minutes. Nothing against Ricky Rubio, but nah. If Lonzo Ball ends up to be a larger version or more athletic version of Ricky Rubio, then he's going to be a bust.
So Ricky Rubio makes players around him better. I know last year that his team took a point guard in the first round in the lottery, but guess what Ricky Rubio did? He took his spot back and he basically averaged a triple-double the second half of the season.
Lonzo's the 6th UCLA player to be drafted in the top 2. And those other 2, it's a pretty good company right there with Big Red and Kareem. Allison Williams now with the newest Los Angeles Laker, Lonzo Ball.
Thank you very much, Reese. Lonzo, the Lakers are your hometown team, the team your family wanted to draft you. How does it feel to actually be an LA Laker?
That's a dream come true. Glory to God, and thank you for everybody helping me get here.
Good for you, brother. Give the glory to the person who deserves it, right? The Most High. Give him the glory. He's the one who blessed you with the talent, and he blessed you with the strong family background that you needed to get to where you're at. So that's good.
Your vision is such a strong part of your game, and you're drafted by a guy that knows a thing or two about that in Magic Johnson. What does it mean to you to have him as a mentor and someone to learn from?
It's crazy. I couldn't ask for anything more, and to be able to learn from him every day is truly a blessing.
Now, I noticed that you are not wearing the shoes that you walked the red carpet with earlier. Pretty convenient. You had to put on not just the hat, but you also had the shoes waiting for you back there as well.
I did. Kind of had that pre-planned, and I'm glad everything worked out.
And I will note, you didn't have them in any other color, right?
No, this was it.
Why are you so worried about the colors that he had? Just let the man enjoy his moment. I mean, shit. Everybody's so mad about this man's shoe price. This is not this society, the economy in this society is based on buying what you can afford and buying what you like, buying what you want. There's no such thing as overpriced. All right? There's no such thing as overpriced. If people do not buy the product, the market is structured that they will have to lower the price of the product in order to move the product, or they will lose money. That's how it works. If they persist with that price, they're either going to lose money, or it shows that the product is worth the price because they're able to move it. All right? Even if you sell something on eBay, if you price it at $50 and nobody buys it, what must you do if you want to sell it? You must lower the price. That's just how basic economics works. So people come with this bullshit about the shoes overpriced. There's no such thing.
I know your
The market will dictate if something is overpriced.
family's with you here tonight, your dad and your brothers, but your mom, Tina, is at home watching. She suffered a stroke in February. What does it mean to you to be able to play at home because of your mother and being able to be close to her?
Yeah, it helps a lot. I'm glad to be home so she can come to most of the games. And she's getting better every day, so that's great. And I know she's happy at home watching right now.
Lonzo, thank you so much. Appreciate the time. Jeff, let's go over to the man now that spoke it into existence. Jeff?
Yes, go to him. Give the man credit, all right?
All right, we got LeVar here. And LeVar, you already got the Lakers hat.
I'm trying to tell you, I knew this was happening before it was happening.
When did you get this hat made?
When he was a baby.
This nigga's crazy.
What's it like now that this has come to fruition for you? You've been talking about it for 9 months.
9 months? You're talking about 19, 20 years.
All right, 19, 20 years.
You had a microphone on me when I was talking about it.
What's it like right now that he is an LA Laker?
It's a wonderful feeling. But I already knew what was coming to him. I got 2 more boys. I got to come do the same thing 2 more years.
So you're going to get them to the Lakers too. How?
The big ball away. Ball control.
And see, one of the main reasons why the media is so much against, the mainstream media is so much against LeVar Ball is because we live in a female worship society. We live in a society that worships the mother goddess. That's why they make such a humongous deal about Mother's Day, so-called Mother's Day, but so-called Father's Day, they kind of try to brush aside. All right? They really want to make the man obsolete. Like I said, to a lot of you so-called black men, most of these liberal black females view you just as a donor. They do not want the authority that you're supposed to have in their life or in the home. They want every decision to be quote unquote 50-50, really meaning that they make all the decisions. But as soon as affliction or hard times hit, then that's when you're supposed to come into the equation and salvage whatever bad decisions they've made. I've seen it 1,000,001 times. All right. He has trumped that whole setup, Mr. LeVar Ball has. Whether he has Masonic connections or whatever connections he may have. I'm just evaluating the exterior. All right. Just from that viewpoint, he has trumped the entire setup. Look, even Jamal Crawford said it, in the tweet. He said, Triple B's big baller brand, LeVar is a prophet. The word prophet, it just means somebody who says something before it happens. All right. Just from a basic perspective, not going biblical or spiritual. Just from a basic perspective, he was able to prophesy where his sons were going to go, speak it into existence. All right. There is such a thing as the power of positive thinking. So many people that you come across in this life are so negative. All right. And that's the one thing that I could tell a lot of you brothers, man, especially a lot of y'all that are younger. If you're in relationships with a female who is negative, things don't get better with negative people. They only get worse. Send her on her goddamn way. And if you're negative, you better correct yourself or you're going to end up in a bad situation. All right. Something that you can't get out of. It's easier to be positive than it is to be negative. But then again, I guess it's easier to be positive if that's what's in your DNA. All right. Positivity and negativity is in your DNA. It can't be changed. That's why I said if you with a negative bitch, let her go. All right. Clip that shit off like a loose string on a shirt or on a jacket. Clip that string off and move on. A lot of you so-called black men, you cause your own problems by trying to make shit work that's not supposed to work. Evaluate yourself. Make sure that you're positive and that the person that you're with is positive. Right. That's a major portion of creating a good dynamic in your life. That's why I always concentrate on you brothers. Right. We could talk about the so-called black woman all day, but her conduct is an offshoot of what you tolerate. All right. It's about what you tolerate. And what you tolerate is predicated off of how you conduct yourself. But anyway, let's get back to this dude.
How good is Lonzo Ball gonna be for the
God damn. Brother, just go get him cleaned. I mean, shit. Oh, man.
for the LA Lakers?
Hey, I'm gonna tell you what. Lonzo Ball is gonna take the Lakers to the playoffs his first year. Come see me when he does. I'll have another hat on to say I told you so.
Selling for $299.99 is the I told you so line of fitted baseball caps. Selling starting April 1st, just in time for the playoffs.
Thanks a lot, LeVar. Congrats.
Thank you.
I congratulated me too, right before the draft.
Alrighty then. I told you, it's Jerry the King Lawler, it's Ric Flair.
See, the so-called white man, he doesn't like to see a strong black male father figure. That's why he's comparing him to wrestlers. No, he's not a wrestler. He's just somebody who believes in his son. All right. A wrestler is somebody who a wrestler is somebody who's just reading off of a script. Even if we go from the basic perspective that LeVar already knew that his son was going to the Lakers and that Magic was going to draft him, his son still had to excel on the court to make it something real and tangible. All right. But let's just see how they talk about it. You're going to see Jalen is the only person who gets it because Jalen is the person on the panel who didn't have a father in his life, and he wishes that he had a father like LeVar.
I want everybody out there to Google Bundini Brown. That's who Muhammad Ali's hype man was.
Like a butterfly.
Absolutely. A crocodile was for Mike Tyson. You notice that Zoe was really mellow, excited to be drafted. All LeVar is his hype man. He spoke it into existence, and I can't front again. Lakers gonna get that ball, and they got that ball.
All right, now let's
Jalen is hype, but everybody else wants to segue to something else because they don't want to talk about LeVar Ball. They do not like to see a so-called black man set goals for himself and achieve those goals. They do not like that, especially somebody who's not quote-unquote humble, meaning who doesn't know his place. All right, LeVar Ball has kicked in the door. He's come in basically saying that he's going to dictate terms, and they do not like that. He's changed paradigms. They do not like that. All right, I've already noted that with people like Floyd Mayweather. It's consistent with the mainstream media. They will harangue and harass and try to downplay so-called black men who don't go along with the game plan, which is, thank you so much. I'm just so happy that you allowed me in the door. Even though I worked hard, I was the one born with the talent and the gifts. It's a privilege to play in the NFL or the NBA. No, it's not. It's a privilege for those leagues to have you. All right? It's a privilege for those leagues to have you. You know how you know that? You make up 75% of these professional sports leagues, black man, but you only make up 6% of the population. So obviously they see something special in you. So how could it be a privilege for you to be with them? Obviously it's a privilege for them to have you. But anyway, this segment is about done. I just wanted to highlight LeVar Ball and his success. Congratulations to him and his son. Peace.